Hey, remember a time when you wouldn't get made fun of for having Dick in your name? Yeah, the good old days. Which I didn't live through. So this is episode 3 of Library Discussions, where I just find something random from the library, or I just get it ahead of time online, and essentially just, if I feel like it, I'll just talk about it. And this is the best way to read an old story. So, to catch people up on speed, Moby Dick is essentially a story of someone who decided to go out and to get a job for whaling, and eventually he ended up on a boat where the person, Captain Abab, wishes to hunt down the white whale Moby Dick due to a vendetta he had against said white whale. Now, I'm not going to get too into the story to avoid spoilers, but for the most part, this is one of those stories that was written long ago where people just didn't really care about it, and the original author wasn't able to live long enough to see the book's actual success, because for the most part the story did become, well, one of literature's most famous stories, which that's a good thing. Now, this right here is actually a graphic novel version of the book, which I actually first discovered this with 1984, and it's really cool that I came across this here, because as someone like me who is not good at visualizing text that I would read, normally I would have to play an audio version alongside the book version in order to get a better visual on what is going on, and it also helps out with the pacing, and honestly, it makes stuff more memorable. But for essentially a comic book version of many different scenes to pop up, it is cool that such things like this are a thing, and I am very grateful to find this, because not only am I able to keep up with what's going on, but to see such really good illustrations in this that I assume are the beat on beat recreations of the original story, that is a good thing. Heck, let me find it. The foreword right here, the person who made this wanted to try and be as faithful to the original book as possible when illustrating this, which quite ballsy and noble of him, if you ask me. Maybe not ballsy, but it is nice to see such dedication to someone who is willing to go out of his way to try and make the most faithful version of a story as possible, while keeping the same length of that story as well. So, I recommend you try to find one of these yourselves if you wish to read the story, but you also want to see great illustrations of it in case you're a very slow reader. Not to be insulting.